Hello, Bluebook enthusiasts. I'm Elena Walatira, Head of Public Services at the UW Law Gallagher Law Library. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the major changes in the 21st edition of the Bluebook, which was published in the summer of 2020. If you really want to get deep into the weeds and find out every single major and minor change with this edition, I would love nothing more than to chat with you. Send me an email at elenaw@uw.edu. The 21st edition of the Bluebook is substantially similar to the previous edition. And one caveat about this video, I'm only speaking to the changes in the white pages and the tables, which are used for academic legal writing. I am not addressing any changes made to the blue pages, which come before the white pages and the tables in the Bluebook. The first major change with this new edition is in Rule 1.4, the order of authorities within each signal. In previous editions, there was a very complicated list of the order in which you should include different categories of authorities in your citation sentence. The new rule simplifies that substantially. Now, quote, authorities should be ordered in a logical manner, end quote. Simple enough. Next, we have an addition to Rule 10 about cases. 10.6.2, in-chambers opinions. Past editions of the Bluebook did not address in-chambers opinions, which the U.S. Supreme Court defines as opinions, quote, written by an individual justice to dispose of an application by a party for interim relief, for example, for a stay of the judgment of the court below, for vacation of a stay, or for a temporary injunction, end quote. Thankfully, the Bluebook 21st edition now gives you guidance as to how to cite these. Hooray! Next, we have my favorite change in this edition, a change to Rule 12.3.2, the year of the U.S. Code. The old rule required you to cite to the last official print volume of the U.S. Code, which was only printed by the Government Printing Office once every 6 years and was impractical for researchers to access in print, and was very infrequently as current as commercial statutory codes like the USCA and USCS. With the 21st edition, the Bluebook has done away with the year requirement for U.S. Code citations. You must, of course, still check that your cited statute is up to date by consulting a reputable online source. But this makes it substantially easier for journal editors and scholars alike to cite to the U.S. Code. Note that nothing in the 21st edition changed the process for state statutes. State codes do still require year citations with reference to the official print source. Next, Rule 15.1b, more than two authors of a book or other non-periodic material. The old rule was a little confusing and not really worth trying to explain for our purposes here. But with the 21st edition, we now have a pretty simple rule about how to fully cite to a non-periodic source with more than two authors. Use the first author's name followed by et al. When saving space is desired and in short form citations. List all of the authors' names when particularly relevant. Next, Rule 18.2.2c, date and time for updated online materials. This comes into play when you're citing a blog post or a news article that's been updated since it was originally published online. This happens all the time with online sources. The 21st edition of the Bluebook mandates that you use the date that the piece was updated rather than the original publication date in your citation sentence. Rule 18.2.2d, short links in the URL. There was previously no rule about using short URLs, but the 21st edition has stepped in to say that short URLs like to wapo.st or imdb.to are preferable, so long as the short link makes it clear to the reader what the source is, here, the Washington Post and the Internet Movie Database. The Bluebook gives the example of bit.ly as a short URL that does not suffice, because a bit.ly short URL could be to an online source from any institutional author. Rules 18.6 and 18.7, time markers for video and audio recordings. This is another new rule, which the 21st edition gives as a way of allowing pinpoint citations to audio and video recordings. You simply use an @ and give the timestamp, placed immediately after the page title. Note that pinpoint citations to video and audio recordings are not required, just that this is how you do it if you think it would be useful information for your reader. Rule 18.8, Photographs and Illustrations. There was previously no rule for how to cite to visual works, and now there is. We're out of the rules now and into the back of the Bluebook. Table T2, Foreign Jurisdictions. Previously, T2 was in the blue pages at the back of the Bluebook. T2 contains foreign countries' common sources of primary law with rules about how to cite to them. T2 has now moved online with the 21st edition and is available to all legal researchers for free from the Bluebook's online website. Table 13.2. This used to be a list of common words in periodical titles. This table was eliminated in the 21st edition after its content was combined with T6, common abbreviations in case names and institutional author names. With the old rule, there were some words that had a different abbreviation depending on the context. For example, the word university in an institutional author's name or in a case name was abbreviated UNIV, but the same word in a periodical title, like the Seattle University Law Review, was abbreviated as U. Another issue with the old abbreviation tables was that there were the same abbreviation for multiple words, such as register and regulation, both reg. The new T6 contains unique abbreviations for all common words in case names, institutional authors, and periodical titles, all in one table. Here's a list of all the words and abbreviations that have changed from the 20th to the 21st edition. I am personally grateful that we now have an abbreviation for laboratory in LABI. So there you have it, all of the major changes in the 21st edition of the Bluebook. Remember, if you ever have any questions about the Bluebook or how to create a citation or interpret a rule, the library is here to help. Just email us at lawref@uw.edu. This video was recorded by Elena Walatira of the Gallagher Law Library in August 2020. Happy Bluebooking!